We are actually known for our psychiatric ward, just so you know.
Where is there a psychiatric ward?
On Ralston Avenue, it's huge. It's
Really?
like huge.
You've never been there?
Let's go there, right?
I've checked
been
it out
there.
at least 3 times.
You don't get a chance to scare your sister.
I drove up there with my friends, and then we saw this guy on the roof. And then the next day on the news, we saw he had escaped, and like they were on the lookout for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It's quite an effort.
He really gives it his all.
Okay, I'm gonna do an intro,
Okay.
and I'll introduce you guys. Okay.
Don't introduce me, just introduce them.
I'm gonna introduce you.
Just the backdrop.
That's our producer, Pam Rice.
Okay, can I start? Hey guys, welcome back to Actually Adultish, your favorite podcast in the whole world. I'm Christina, your host, and Nina's not with me again this week, but I have a lot of guests with me right now. I'm with my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
That's my mom, Pam. And then with my friend Jake. Say hi.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hey guys.
You sound so creepy. And then my sister's here. Jenny, say hi.
Hi.
And her boyfriend, Kenton. Say hi, Kenton.
Hello.
We have so many people, and now they're being super quiet. And, okay, have any of you ever listened to a podcast before?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
What podcast have you listened to, Mom?
Yours.
You've never listened to my podcast.
Yes, I have.
What episode?
I'm old. I don't remember the episodes, but I sit and I listen to some of the stuff you do.
I don't believe you.
I've listened to it. I've listened to it with your father, and I've listened to it by myself.
Can you name one episode you've listened to?
We started the first one. I remember that.
The one with Kaylin, and I remember you, the 3 of you. I'm an old woman, and I have a lot of stuff that I think about.
Oh my God.
Do you know what a podcast is?
Yeah. I didn't, but now I do.
Okay. Okay, what podcast have you listened to?
Usually like earthquakes ones.
What?
It's my
earthquake, like a sports.
yeah. The soccer team.
I was like,
We
what?
got a 5.2, guys.
Yeah, I'm
Like
in the room
sports
when
ones.
I'm in the room when they're being recorded.
5.0.
Mhm.
Oh.
And no soccer.
Like my
players.
grade point average.
Oh my god.
Thank you. It's been great.
Were you guys smart in high school?
Define
What's your definition
smart.
of
Define smart.
What was your GPA?
What? That's
I
what you're really
I remember
asking a
college
GPA?
Yeah, what was your
It was
GPA?
a-
Yeah, Mom, what was your GPA in high school?
3.8.
That's good. That was actually mine.
Did
for
you take
college.
the APs?
No, that was that stuff didn't exist in my world.
What?
Everybody
what
went
didn't
to college.
exist?
Everybody got to college. There was AP classes, but it didn't affect you getting into college really. It was just AP. You just were above other people. No, I took no AP classes.
You're just above. You're automatically above people.
No, it was
Interesting.
it was an interesting thing.
Okay, just so to clarify, this is how we know everybody. Jenny went to high school with Mike and Jake, but apparently they didn't become friends until after high school, which I still don't understand.
Jake and I knew each other. Jake and I knew each other freshman year.
You were in the same class.
We were in the same math class. Jake sat behind me.
and then you went.
Okay,
I-
pause.
And then you went on a date.
Okay, pause.
I remember that you went on a date, and then
We
like
did
it was
not
like
go on a date. I don't
you
know
went
what you're
somewhere
talking
with
about.
Jake.
Oh, we went to a dance senior year. That was it.
Well,
After we were
Well, yeah,
friends.
because
Can I interrupt, Christina? Your guests are going to go from 20,000 like 50 in one podcast.
No, I think it's funny. So you guys didn't go on a date. You went to a dance together.
Late in
Winter
senior
formal, to be precise.
Oh, I remember.
Formal?
Yes.
winter
and you
formal.
didn't pay
Okay,
for
so
my,
it
I won
wasn't
my
just-
ticket for free. I
You
bought
make-
my own ticket.
You make
were
it
so
act like
happy
a
about that.
dance, like you just went to
I don't remember that, to be
Free
honest with
ticket?
you.
We were really happy about that.
I actually
do
think you were
remember.
dressed up. I kind of remember that.
It was
Happy winter
formal.
It was a
Okay,
green
but you
dress.
keep calling it a dance
Yeah, I
like it was like a weekend dance.
It was on
No,
a
they
weekend.
said
It was
winter
Saturday
formal.
night at the Hiller Aviation
It
Museum.
was cold, so
Oh my god. Okay, and then how did you become friends with Mike?
What happened, if I remember correctly, is like we would hang out in the same room at lunch, but we weren't like friends. And then one time, I think we were walking back to our cars, and we just kind of started talking. And then I was like, "You want to go toss around a football or something?"
I
And
called you one time. I called his
Somehow I
house,
can't
actually.
imagine
You
you
called
guys
my
playing
house?
I
football.
called your house.
We used to go meet
I don't
and
remember.
on the weekends. I think I went like once or twice.
Okay, wait. Where did you guys go to college?
I went to the Harvard of
Sonoma.
wine country, Sonoma State.
I went to the Stanford of the San Joaquin Valley. It's called Fresno State, you guys.
And did you like it there, both of you?
Yeah.
Mom, don't spit out your drink. She's literally falling over.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The school was.
Isn't it like all girls?
It was
So you
like
liked it?
70% girls. Yeah, but it's.
was in heaven.
Yeah, it's like the fact that it was a small school was it was good because it was small class sizes and you got to know everybody, but then like drama tended to spread. So if you like were dating one person and then you stop talking to them, like the next person that you would start dating, they're like, oh, I heard you knew this person.
Yeah.
You like couldn't avoid it because everybody knew
It's like high
everyone.
school again.
Right.
I don't like that. What was it like at Fresno?
Well, like, you see Sonoma State, which is all girls. I think Fresno State was mostly all animals.
What?
What kind of animals?
Party animals.
There's actually a pretty big agricultural community in Fresno. So, like, we had, like, a farm on campus that would, like, raise cattle, and they actually would sell the meat and all that stuff. And
That's cool. That's great.
then, because I was in the enology program, so they had a bunch of fields of, like, grapes, and the students would make wine, stuff like that. So it was big on the agriculture.
Okay, what did you guys major in?
I majored in enology, which is basically the study of winemaking or the chemistry of winemaking. Actually studied that.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually did graduate too.
No,
Surprising to everyone else.
What about you?
I was business.
Oh, okay. And tell everybody what you do now.
Well, Jake's unemployed now.
You ever see that guy that sits on the corner with his guitar case open?
Well, at least you're not at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
He's considered it though.
No, I'm the PR manager for the San Jose Earthquakes of Major League Soccer. So I oversee like communications for the team. I get to travel with them all around North America. Work closely with the players and coaches, and just make sure that the team's being talked about and being put in a good light as much as possible.
And so then do you get like free stuff?
Yes. What kind of stuff?
Like tickets and swag and stuff?
Yeah, I have season tickets, and I'm like considered, I guess, part of the technical staff. So I get like all the same stuff as like the team.
Ooh, that's cool. And then what do you do?
So I work for Ridge Vineyards, a winery. So my official title is assistant manager for sales and hospitality at the Montebello location, which is in Santa Cruz Mountains. So I pretty much just manage our taste room and sales staff and put on big events for the winery. So it's a lot of fun.
So do you know like all the wines, like if you were blindfolded and you were taste testing it, do you know them all?
Well, the answer to that's hard because there's so many wines. I guess it'd be actually no, because there's so many different wines. I'd have a hard time really guessing it. I mean, if you were to put like a few wines and say it's between like Cabernet, Zin and Pinot, a little more general questions, I could probably guess the varietal. But if it comes to like which location we're talking about, what soil type, it'd be tough. So.
Okay, what made you want to study that? Were you a big wine drinker in high school?
It's actually a long story.
He had a vineyard growing in his backyard in high school.
What?
It's a long
Yes.
story.
He
Wait,
was
what do
in
you
the
mean?
high school yearbook next to a vineyard.
That's because I knew, Justine at the time wanted something to fill like the yearbook. So
Picked you.
she picked me. Yeah, I was a winner.
Yeah.
Wait, you had a vineyard in your backyard?
Yeah, we had a project. My dad and I just a random project. We wanted to build a vineyard in the backyard. So going deeper into this, when I was younger, I used to be into gardening. I used to love to garden when I was like 10, 12, 15 years old. And so my great-grandfather...
Just those ages.
My
10, 12, 15.
Yeah, just every time I hit that year, I was really into gardening. So, no, my great-grandfather, who's still around, we would actually, compete against each other when we grew pumpkins, kind of random, but we grow giant pumpkins, and we have a competition to see like who grew the most heaviest pumpkin. Even though we grew up kind of in like a suburban city area, I was always into farming. And so one of the things I did after growing pumpkins was I wanted to do a vineyard. So we started a vineyard and we grew grapes with my dad. And I think at a young age I did like have wine. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed gardening. I kind of put two and two together. And I thought it was interesting that, like, I think wine's the one of the few agricultural products that preserves a certain time in a season, and you can enjoy it for many years to come. So it's like history in a bottle, you know. Right. So I think it was just interesting for me, and I had interest in it. So my great grandfather actually told me I should get a job at a winery. I was like, oh, that's actually not a bad idea, and so I did. I got a job at Domenico Wines, which is in San Carlos, and I kind of fell in love with working in the wine industry when I was in high school, and so it's kind of what happened. I don't know like why I wanted to start it, but I just did. And
but you were already in college studying the whole wine thing, so it was in parallel.
No, I started in high school. I started like when I was a sophomore in high school.
So like, what were you doing
and
exactly?
And then when I was like a junior year, I had to think about where I was going to apply to college. I think it was junior year.
And what your major would be.
Yeah, right, and so my parents forced me to go to a college fair, and I went there, and I saw a school that had like a banner of like vines, like grapevines. Yeah. And so I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. And I just put two and two together, and it kind of just like I decided to go there, and that was it. So.
And you were accepted, and you got into it, and
I was accepted
life went
somehow,
on.
So yeah.
Well, that's a big part
so
of it.
what exactly were you doing in high school? Like
at the winery?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when the grapes first came in, well, actually, we did harvesting.
Do you stomp them?
I would go to like a vineyard that the owner had, and would harvest the grapes. We would truck them into the winery, which was in San Carlos on Industrial Road there, like right across the street from 24 Hour Fitness. And we just like crush we'd spend like many hours there. No, like there's actually a crushing facility that you throw it in there to crush, and then we'd ferment it and then put it in barrels. So it was like the whole process of making wine, bottling the wine, labeling the wine.
That's actually really cool.
So I did that like throughout all high school.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so switching gears. You guys, I want you to tell the most embarrassing story about the other person that you know.
Well, Jake, I think, told that story earlier today.
Let's tell it again.
You want me to tell it again?
Yeah, or if you have another one. Yeah, it wasn't even that bad.
All right, I'll tell a different story.
Okay. Wait, I want to know about him sleeping in the driveway.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
Good.
So, Mike working at a winery here, he knows a lot of people that are, big into alcohol. So I guess he's got this one coworker or somebody that decides to make his own like moonshine.
Oh God.
So he gives him this little bottle, this little harmless bottle of stuff, and it's got like a cheap label maker sticker on it that says Buffalo Trace. So obviously I think we were either just out of college. I think we were like within a year out of college, and we're like, oh great, like free alcohol, and the stuff was supposed to be strong. We're like, great, we'll take advantage of this. So we took like 2 shots, like really didn't go overboard, went out to the bars, and both of us just blacked out like immediately. That stuff hit us like a train.
Was it just you guys, or were you with like other people?
It was us.
It was just us.
Okay.
Yeah. So somehow we ended up getting back home. I think it was an Uber. It could have been at that point. It could have been a magic carpet. I don't know.
We may have walked home. We don't know.
God.
So I like kind of remember like stumbling out of an Uber, and we're walking down my driveway, which is like fairly long and steep. And at some point he says to me, he like mumbles like, I don't feel good. I'm just going to hang out here for a little bit. So I was like, all right. So I go inside, and I guess in my drunken state, I locked the door behind me. And I just went right to bed, fell asleep. And Mike was just locked out, ended up sleeping in the driveway.
Oh my goodness. Like on the ground?
Like on the hard,
Yeah.
cold cement.
Yeah.
And
Curled
then
Did you even try and go in?
I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
You don't
I
remember?
think he did, and then he
Like-
realized the door was locked, and then was just like, "I'm just gonna
I
sleep."
found,
my God.
I found like a nice part of the pavement. And
Yeah.
curled
A
up.
soft part of the paper.
And then I remember like hearing a knocking on the window. Must have been 7, 8 in the morning, and I walked over to the door, and I opened it, and he's just standing there. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I slept in your driveway because you locked me out."
That was a bad night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty
No
funny.
blankets
Did that
or
hurt?
pillow or anything.
Yeah, I just slept in the driveway.
That's
Yeah.
not really embarrassing though.
That's just like, I feel like that's more like
That's more-
worse for you.
Yeah, on Jake's part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, that's embarrassing.
Oh, then I'll have to think because I don't. Nothing really. comes to mind.
Yeah, embarrassing. I don't know.
It's okay. Do you
Yeah.
have anything?
Not on
Jenny, do you
Jake.
have
Every
any about them?
About them?
Embarrassing. She was
Mom, do you have one?
about these guys?
Yeah.
No.
We've only partied with her so many times, so it's hard to put that many.
No, other than that bathroom incident.
What?
Oh, the bathroom.
Let's talk about the bathroom incident.
God.
I don't know if that would be embarrassing. I just think that
No, that wasn't embarrassing. It
What
just-
was the
this is
bathroom
human.
incident?
It's a human.
Yeah.
It's a human side of
it's a
us.
college incident.
What happened?
Which time?
There was so
Yeah,
many
which
times.
time are we talking about where I passed out here? 'Cause that's been.
I passed out once.
I don't. Well, I know I said that earlier
maybe.
too. You and I were with him in the restroom. He didn't feel good, and we went to the restroom, and Jake kept saying, "I'm gonna get sick," and Mike and I, okay, go ahead. We're just like laying. We were all on the floor in the bathroom, and
Was
you-
that at our house or in San Diego?
right here?
Yeah,
It was, I think, Jenny's 21st birthday.
I think that was like
Yeah.
the closest
And I was
conversation we've
going
had together.
upstairs checking on Jen because Jen was not feeling good. And I kept saying to her, go get sick. You'll feel better. You got a ton of people downstairs. Well, we had a party going on. And here you and Jake, like two of the biggest party animals, are freaking in bed.
Wow.
You're in bed.
Not together.
Jake's on the floor in the bathroom with me and Mike. And I'm like, Mike, what do we need to do? He goes, nothing. Just come here. Let's just talk. And we're just like trying to.
So we
did
talked
you
with
guys
Jake's
talk
head in the
about?
toilet the whole time.
No, his head wasn't in the toilet. Remember, he would lay on the floor and then he'd get up and he'd get over the toilet. And then we're like, okay, it's going to happen. And I'm going to leave. And then he lay back down. No, he only like did it like once or twice. I don't even think he did it that much.
Yeah, Mike and I offered to come over early and help set up for the party,
Yeah.
and the keg was right there, and
Jim made you
and Jimbo
get into it.
decided they wanted us to be the first ones to
Yeah.
have a drink, and one led to eight
No,
or
it's fine.
nine,
We didn't give you enough food.
was in the
I mean, it's
bathroom.
it doesn't
Oh my
matter.
God.
We didn't give you enough food, but it was fun. I mean, the beauty of it was we sat in the bathroom. We have a big bathroom on the
was
floor
beautiful.
and watched little poor Jake be sick. But we had a lot of conversation.
We did, yeah.
And I kept leaving to go check on Jen, and I come back. Oh yeah, and you give me your advice, right? And I go back up, and it all ended good. Everybody was happy when they left, and to this day, they're still sending us emails about how great life is.
What? Who's sending you emails about how
I'm
great life
joking.
is?
I'm joking.
Okay, wait. In your college days, how often were you getting that drunk?
Oh boy.
How many days in the week are there? No, I actually
College days?
Yeah.
not that often. I mean, we probably drank like once a weekend, but it usually didn't go overboard
Okay.
that often.
Gotcha. Interesting. So, don't fall asleep, Mom. What about you? What were you like in college? Did you guys party, or were you too busy studying? You studied a lot.
Uh-huh.
Are you cognizant?
I'm just thinking back to what you said. I had a little party side to me, but I faked drinking a lot.
What do you mean you faked?
I told you that, guys. In high school, it started in high school. I never liked alcohol.
Yeah.
And so
Until when?
Well, that changed.
Well, yeah, like at 40.
40.
Oh, I knew she was going to say
40?
that. 40th,
My 40th birthday.
Her 40th birthday was a big deal.
I'll
It was a
never
big
forget
deal.
your 40th
My 40th birthday was a big deal. But, no, in high school, I would get a beer, go in the bathroom, empty the beer, fill it with water, and then come out and pretend like I was drinking beer
Why?
because I hated beer.
Well, why didn't you just not drink? People make fun of you if you didn't have a beer in your hand?
I need to fit in. I had to fit in. That's part of fitting in. You had to have a beer in your hand. If I walked around with a red cup or a glass of water, I didn't fit in. So
That's kind of sad. Do you feel like, do you guys think like that? If
I
somebody
usually
was
fill
not
my
drinking,
water cups up with margaritas. So.
well, you're talking 40 years ago, so it was different.
I know, I'm curious.
We had our parties were keg parties, and everybody drank beer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if we were at a keg party, I'd get the red cup and I'd go to the bathroom and fill it with water. I didn't like beer.
I guess that's pretty smart.
I didn't drink. I just didn't drink. I never drank in high school, to be honest.
Did your friends?
I drank like once or twice, and I was done with it. Yes, I had a lot of friends that drank. A lot of people drink. But our alcohol at that point was beer. Everybody drank beer, and I wasn't a beer drinker.
Well, isn't it? I mean, what was your alcohol?
I mean,
Isn't it
college-
always,
I don't
like,
know if you,
anything?
really-
I think you
Beers.
guys.
Anything.
Oh, we drank that other thing, not moonshine,
liquor?
but that Glen Ellen or I don't know, some
Glen
weird
Ellen?
thing. Some weird
That was what you
thing.
drank in college was Glen Ellen?
No, there's some weird thing
Glenfiddich?
that had I have to think about that. What's that? Not it's a moonshine kind of thing. It was weird. I only drank it once or twice. But you could buy it. It was
Everclear?
already mixed alcohol in a bottle.
Ooh. That sounds dangerous.
Interesting. Okay. Wait. Okay, I want to talk about the dating apps. Wait, so have you used Tinder?
Yeah, I've used Tinder and
Have you used Bumble?
Bumble. I think, yeah, that's the main ones.
Have you?
Keep going. I know there's more on your list.
What else?
I'm like trying to think of the other ones. There's
the,
OK Cupid.
Coffee meets bagel or something.
What about
Yeah, there's
what about
Coffee Meets
Events
Bagel?
and Adventures?
I never used that one.
is that?
don't
Okay,
like
I
that.
don't get that though.
What's Events and Adventures?
So it's East Bay app, and oh my god, if I were single, I'd be on that in a minute.
What?
It's about you just meet people and you have fun. They do all these events, and you can sign up for what you want to do, and it's not about matching you with somebody. It's about being around people that have similar interests. And so and what I've always found fascinating with that is that if you're around people that have similar interests, you may not be connected to that person, but they might know somebody who's connected to what you like. So it's not like
I've
you're
never heard of that. Is that like more for like older people?
I don't know, they've had numerous marriages, Events and Adventures. You've never heard of that?
No.
Well, y'all should get on it because
Kenton, what do you want to say?
They advertise on the radio all the time.
Oh, okay. So nobody my age would ever
Yeah.
hear that.
There's also
It's on like
Farmers Mingle.
99.7.
There's what?
Farmers Mingle.
Farmers only.
Farmers only. Yeah, that's another. It's a solid
is
dating
that like
site.
moo a Macau or what does that
Only
mean?
What?
a farmer you can go on it.
How do they verify that?
I don't know.
But how
There's,
much land you own?
Yeah.
Wait, have you ever used dating apps?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Tinder and Bumble were. Well, there was Zoosk also.
Never used that one.
What's that?
That one was trash. I don't think I
Yeah.
ever talked to anybody on that. But I used Tinder and Bumble.
Like when?
I first got an iPhone when I graduated college.
That late?
It would have.
Wait.
That
oh,
late.
Oh, sorry. An iPhone, not a cell phone. Sorry.
iPhone. I mean, I had
whoa.
a cell phone all the way back to high school, but yeah, I definitely didn't. I didn't have like Tinder or anything in college. That would have probably changed a lot of things.
How so?
Well, you would have just met like the way the school was set up. Everybody was either lived on campus or you lived within like a mile of campus.
Yeah.
So if you had an app that could just show you everybody that was within like a 2-mile radius, like I could have seen the whole school.
Yeah.
But
It's not like you needed like Tinder though for like college. I didn't really use it during college because you're around so many people.
Mm-hmm.
It
Was it
wasn't.
like-
It wasn't.
Probably would've made
needed.
things
Was it a thing when
awkward.
you were in college? When
It
did it
was
get popular?
honestly
I don't even remember.
when we were going to college, like in the middle, it
Uh-huh.
was just starting. I think we were like
Oh.
sophomores. Like it was like a fresh like idea, like the whole online dating
Were
thing.
your friends using it?
it was so new until like I was like I think a senior or a junior senior year, people started talking about using it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
So-
I used it for like the first couple years I was out of college.
And did you like it?
oh, Jake liked it.
I mean, it.
Did you ever Mom, are you asleep?
It's just,
Are you? Did you ever actually meet up with somebody through it?
Yeah, a few people.
well, you know what's
Yeah.
weird about? Here's the thing about online dating that's just so super strange, is that like if you're walking by a girl and she's single, you're not gonna be like, oh, how are you doing? Like, how's your day? Like, typically you just wouldn't walk up to a random person.
Yeah.
But then like with this idea of like just matching in this place where everyone's just seeking somebody, then it's like so okay to be like, oh, how's your day going?
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? Like
In that
it
voice,
has to
too.
be in that it has to be in that platform for someone to talk to someone,
Yeah. Do you think that's kind of weird? I don't know. Like, do you think it's good?
For
Those
what,
apps?
online dating?
Yeah.
I think it's from what I've seen and from our generation, I don't see it being a great thing because it makes people so like that's one thing for sure. But like it makes people so dispensable. It's like, oh yeah, I don't care.
It's super superficial.
I think it makes people really superficial, and I think that's one of the negatives of it. It obviously makes it easy to talk to girls for people who maybe have a hard time doing that, but the result I don't think is that great.
Well, I feel like everybody who's on it is like, well, I don't know. Do you feel like there's a difference? But I don't know if there's a difference between like the way people use it who are my age and the way people use it who are your age. I feel like when you're older, like out of college, people are more serious about it. Does that make
Honestly,
sense?
I
Like
think,
everybody in college who's using it is just like a joke. Like,
I mean,
is that
what do
how
you
it
use
is
your
for-
cell phone for? You pass time, right? A lot of people
Yeah.
use their cell phone. It's kind of. I think a lot of people just use it to keep themselves entertained. I mean, it's nice to if you are single, it's nice to just talk to somebody, and I think people just use it for that.
Yeah, I would say when I had it.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I had it, I was more like I'd be sitting on the couch watching TV, kind of bored with my roommates, and we would like sit there and just swipe. And you're not even really like thinking. You're not like, oh my god, I'm gonna marry this girl.
Yeah.
It's more just like trying to pass the time.
do you have any friends that have like found their significant other through dating apps?
I don't know of anyone, but I've heard of stories, but it's so few and far between.
Jenny, wait, who do you know?
I know one of my friends from middle school. He met his significant other through it.
Are they like
They've been dating 2 years.
Okay.
And living together now.
Okay.
And then I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. And I know somebody else, but I can't remember who it was. Because I knew like 2 or 3 people that have been together with their significant other for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing about it is you're lucky if you meet somebody who has the same intentions as you.
yeah, I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think it's a huge,
there's
some people are using it just to find someone to hook up with, and some people are just using it to find someone to text to have companionship.
yeah.
And there are
Some people are trying to be serious.
right, and both of them, like the couple that comes to mind instantly, she had just graduated college,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in the East Coast, and she was coming back home to the West Coast, and he had been out of college for like a year, and he was trying to meet girls, and so they were both in a spot of life where they were looking for somebody.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people our age don't like. I feel like in the old days,
The old days.
The old
like,
days.
you would graduate college, and the intention was, you find somebody, or even in college, you find someone that you're going to date, and you're going to marry, and then you're going to have a family, and then you're going to have kids. You know what I mean? And that was just how life was. But now there's a lot more variation to life, where people our age don't necessarily want to get out of college and get married and have a family right away. People want to build their careers and stuff, and so not everyone's on the same timeline. You know what I mean? So it's hard to find people who have the same expectation.
Yeah.
Especially on the dating
Yeah, definitely.
And-
apps.
And I think Mike would agree with me, like with the free ones like Tinder and Bumble and all that, there's so little, like, you're not really invested into it, so you can, like, start talking to someone and then the next day just like immediately stop talking to them because
Yeah.
there's no connection.
Ghost.
But I think, yeah. But I think with things like Match or eHarmony or something where it's like a paid service.
Yeah.
Like if you're at that point, you're like, okay, if I don't find somebody by 30, I'm going to join one of these sites. You're paying.
Is that what you guys have decided for yourselves?
That's
Is
what I always said.
Is that?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people probably, you know.
Do you guys have friends who are like on eHarmony and Match who like pay for it now? Or is everybody
I
like
don't know anyone
is everybody
personally, but I
like
know
wait?
people use it.
My cousin actually met her husband on Match, I think.
Like how old is she?
Probably about 30.
Okay.
I have one
When
friend.
did she meet him? When did she meet him?
A few years ago. But no, my whole point was like if you're paying for a site like that, you're
invested because you're actually paying.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna like casually like flip through somebody's profile and be like, oh, they're kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like you would actually pursue talking to them, and then if you don't like them, then you move on to someone else. But Tinder, it's like so easy to just swipe and then be like,
There's
just
no
forget.
risk. There's no risk.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so I need to say a couple things.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I have a sibling who is
oh Jesus.
later in
Oh,
life. These dating things I think are cool. I don't know a lot about them because I don't
Yeah.
connect with them. But I know that this person has paid a lot of money
Yeah.
to get on these dating sites and has been very explicit about who they want to date as far as height and their interests.
Oh. Okay.
And this person has done this a few times, put a lot of money out front, and then once they're hooked, months go by before they get people that connect with him, and the people they connect him with are nothing compared to his application.
Okay.
Well, there's the thing. I mean,
But I'm talking an older group.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'm
get
talking people that are 45 and older.
Well,
but it sounds like he's treating it like a job interview.
yeah. This
There's
is
no like just true chemistry. He's like whoever this person is checking off boxes.
No,
I
but
feel like-
the sites that he's going to are saying you need to give us this information of what you want, and we'll match you. And then they bring people that are nothing to do with what he matched.
okay, but this is what I don't like about these like apps and sites and stuff. It creates this idea that somebody can just be like, "This is exactly what I want a person. Like, bring me my ideal person." That's not real life. Yeah, that's not real effort. They just want somebody to be brought to them. Like,
Okay,
you
but
don't have to go out
but
anymore.
he says, I want somebody who I'm okay with one child, and I'm okay with somebody but I want somebody who's active or whatever. And then they connect him with somebody who has 4 kids.
Well, they're very active, keeping up with the kids, that's for sure.
No, but it's like totally the opposite of everything that he's asking. I want somebody who's under 45, and I'm
Yeah.
giving you somebody who's 50. I want somebody within 30 miles of me, and they're giving me something who's 75 miles. And to
Yeah.
create a relationship, I need somebody 30 miles because
well, maybe there's nobody like that matches his specific like what he's saying.
You have to go deeper and see how the site works.
Yeah.
no, and I agree with that. My
But that's
issue is
my
that
point, like, you can't
they're
be so
charging you big bucks, and they're saying this is all we've got, or this is what we've got.
But what are they supposed to do? Create a person out of thin air?
Well, I think
That's why he can't go on there being like, this is the only type of that's the problem. Like people are going on there being like, this is the only type of woman I'm gonna date.
Well,
And if they're not there, then
But the
they're not
issue
there.
is when you sign up for these sites, they ask you, what do you want?
You're like,
I know, but what if
What are you attracted to? What does he want? So they're telling you what you're saying it. So as a person paying money, you're expecting this site, because you're paying thousands of dollars or whatever, to meet your expectation. And then they come back and they throw somebody at you that has nothing to do
But what are
with
they supposed to do if that
They need to be
specific
honest. They
expectation?
should be honest. This is all we have.
Well, it's a website. It's not.
I also feel like we're though in a like society's kind of in a state of like instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then to go along with that is if you I feel like some people, especially with these dating websites, like they are very particular.
Yeah, exactly.
And very critical, and if they don't get like, it's like exactly what they're looking for, they just kind of give up.
Yeah.
And I think what was nice about before technology was people met organically.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would probably, you'd meet through friends of a friend, and you would
You
talk
network.
and-
You
yeah,
network.
You
You
network.
network.
But now people don't feel like they have to even try.
Right.
But the difference is that when you're paying, like, there's a lot of dating sites out there where you pay like $4,000 or $5,000 or. And
Are you?
we're-
Wait, is it really that expensive? I have no idea.
We guarantee you 2 dates a month, and so you put out what you want. And the 2 dates a month that they're giving you, this is an older group. This isn't your age group.
Okay.
And the 2 people they're giving you are people that are like, are you serious?
But can we just talk? Okay, I mean, what do you think about people who do that?
I think people are very lonely and they're looking for connection and
Like, I
they
just
hear
think
about
that
people-
I think more people need to step up and try and do it the old-fashioned way.
Usually if it's
That's the thing.
Is that
Like
just
the
me?
old-fashioned way now seems to be like the creepy way to do
Yeah.
it.
Thank
That's
you.
the worst part.
Thank
about
you.
it,
That's
know?
messed up.
You are so on.
Well, but here's the thing. So like I was
So
in,
it's
I was
all
in a
about
restaurant.
network.
I was at a restaurant like about a month ago, and there was this family. It had nothing to do with dating, but it kind of connected in the sense
Yeah.
that it was a husband and a wife, and they had 2 kids, and the 2 kids, which were like 7, 8 years old, both had iPads, and they both had their earphones on, and there was no conversation at the table
Oh my
whatsoever.
God! I just had this conversation.
But that's kind of how life is becoming. It's not about like the conversation and the organic start. It's just about like, oh, what's your qualifications? How, just swiping through people.
Well-
It's all metrics at a certain point, you know?
So let me take that a step further.
Yeah.
Because I'm an older woman and I've been through some things and I'm not connected with the whole text thing. So I really feel across the board that we've lost. God gave us the voice to speak. And with texting and emailing, everybody is putting everything into writing. And writing is the perception of how the interpretation of what's being written is one thing, and the person who's writing it is another thing. And you can give that to somebody, and I've seen this so many times, and 3 people can take what you wrote differently. And we've really lost that whole thing of stop texting, pick up the phone, and have verbal communication. We were given a voice to talk.
Yeah.
Okay? And so much is lost because we aren't talking. The intonation, the whole meaning. I see it with my work people. I see it personally, and I just have a huge issue right now with what we're texting.
But like, what are we supposed to do? Like, I don't know how we get out of it.
You just used to call.
But it's like we live in a world that's so fast paced. Like you can't just every time if I need to talk to you, I can't just call you.
Yeah, you can. You say
No, I can't. Like, think about just you and me communicating. What if you're in a meeting? I need to text you.
so. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Is it that big of a deal? So we become.
But yeah, no, I'm just
that's
saying.
the problem. And you know what? That isn't okay. Instant gratification isn't okay.
It's not, but it's the world that we've created.
Well, it's
Okay,
never
but no,
going to
Mom.
be good moving forward at
No.
the
No,
rate
it's
we're
not,
going
but I don't
because there's so much misinterpretation. There's so much. I'm just telling you, in my work world, I've seen this.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but you can't avoid it. It's not like us sitting here is going to change that. Like, prime example is the election. I mean, it was instant gratification. Everyone was sitting there and they're watching, and then everyone, people were either upset or happy about the results. And what did everyone do? They automatically went to social media and they expressed their voice. So people
Okay,
have
you're
a
taking
voice.
it on a global side.
But
I'm
that's
telling
what
you,
you're talking
no.
about dating websites.
No.
It's the same thing.
No, I'm telling you. Well, I'm going back from the dating thing. I'm telling you that from we have choices. We all have choices, and you can choose to text somebody, or you can choose to say, "I'm going to make a phone call." Or you can just say, "I need to talk to you about this," instead of sending the text. And we've lost that ability to communicate. And I see it as a businesswoman. I see it in the world of interviewing.
Okay, I agree, but don't you think also in today's world, like we can't like, how would the world function without like texting and emailing?
I think it's fine, but I think you got to stop. Everybody has to start pulling back and understanding, what do you text about? A yes or no question, this and that. But there's other things where you need to speak to it. You need to verbally communicate.
Yeah.
Because there's emotion, there's humanness in all this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not expressing that in a phone call or, from person to person, it gets lost. Things get misinterpreted because we're not speaking it. We're not voicing it. God gave us a voice for a reason. He didn't.
A lot of people just text nowadays just like to pass the time. Like they might not be having like a conversation to really finish something out or to schedule something. They're just texting because they just think it's the right thing to do to pass the time.
And a yes and a no,
but
or
also,
talk to you later is okay. But when
texting's
it's something,
never like yes or no. It's
but when you're
like,
texting back and forth about, something that's going on, something vital in your life or vital with your work world. Like in my work world, I'm like, people have sent me a text. I go, stop, call me when you're free. Call me. I don't want to do this through text. It's too much energy.
It goes back to, I feel like everyone's always doing a million things at once. Like I can be talking to 5 people at one time and in emailing and doing something else and doing work and get so much done at one time versus if I'm talking to somebody, that's all I can do right then.
Okay, and
I
will push back at you that I appreciate that concept. But guess what? When you text something or you email something, the message is lost.
Well, it depends what you're talking about.
Well, I'm
not saying it's good. I'm just saying like that's the world we live in.
I know. So,
and I think it sucks because I think people don't know how to be social.
Need to make the
it's
choice.
True. I mean,
we have to pull back, and you have to assess what you're sharing. And numerous times, it needs to be verbally communicated. Why are we so busy? You can't pick up the phone and just leave a voice message. Hey, thinking about blah blah blah, and I don't know. I'm not comfortable with this. Blah blah blah. Get back to me. Why can't you do that? Why
because it's all about convenience. Like for example, if if you leave a voice message,
going to be calling somebody and telling them what you're feeling and letting them feel your expression than texting them what you're feeling? What's the difference?
I get it. You get more quality with talking to someone because you're getting a feeling and a tone.
Yeah.
But when you're texting someone, like you don't have to respond. You respond anytime you want.
No, but anytime what I'm saying right now is there's things that have value to them. Yeah. There's things that are emotionally important. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you're sending a text to me that's more than 2 sentences, that's a phone call. That's a phone call. Mm-hmm. I need to, and you can text.
But that's also the difference between like your generation and ours.
I get it. But what I'm saying to you is your generation is doing this, and what your generation is creating is this lack of interpretation or feeling of what's really going on, because you guys are trying to move, and I get it. You're trying to move to this instantaneous response, but so much is lost in a text, and so much interpretation.
It's called a lack of effort because.
No.
Yeah, because when if I were to call Jake and have a conversation, he'd have to answer and he'd have to stop what he's doing and he'd have to give me a response exactly at that point.
But there's times you need that. He doesn't have to answer the phone call. You can leave a message and he can get back to you 3 hours later.
But because people like that are younger that grew up that way texting, now it's awkward to call someone.
Yeah.
You're like you can't see them.
My point.
I want to chime in here.
Wait, stop.
Change that.
Okay, so right now the discussion is basically the value of a call versus a text. I bet you'd probably have a conversation with someone from the generation before you that says, "Why would you call someone? Why wouldn't you just go to their house and talk face to face?"
Yeah.
So it's like a trickle down effect. So we'll probably talk to our kids and say, why are you talking to this person through like a laser system instead of texting.
So what you're missing, my point right now is I've seen this across the board in my work world, my personal world. You guys are texting, we text and we email. I've seen it in email. I saw it in email years ago. You write things. When you write things, people they interpret it how they read it. Mm-hmm. And I can write something and I can mean one thing, text or email, and then I have Joey calling me and saying, "What the hell?" I go, "What are you talking about? That's not what I texted."
Yeah, it gets lost.
And so it gets lost.
Gets lost.
That that voice, the verbal communication of things is extremely important. And if we're all, it's scary. We're moving to this world. But guess what? That verbal communication, and I've seen it in my own workplace, it creates so much, not only negativity, but ineffectiveness, because this guy's taking it this way and he's doing something. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Why? Okay, I'll shut up.
No.
I can see your face. I'm fine.
Okay, I'm like confused. Okay, if that's how you feel, then how can you like support somebody using a dating website?
I don't know. I think dating websites, certain ones, you're just kind of reaching out and you're trying to make a connection.
Like, how can you get to know somebody, like, just over texting?
I think we've got to the point, though, like, when Jake started talking about, like, how it's weird, like, our parents' generation, or even before that, like, it was the norm to go to someone's house to, like, ask them out. If I were to go to someone's house right now and ask them out,
like,
it would be, you can be considered, like, pretty, like, that'd be kind of creepy.
Yeah.
People would consider it creepy. It's like, nowadays, with our newest generation, like, trying to start a conversation just out of thin air at a supermarket would be creepy. Like, if I were to go to you and be like, hey, how you doing today? And I didn't know you, like it'd be creepy. But back in the 50s, when you're like, at a diner.
Oh my God! Don't go to the 50s.
I'm just saying, though, like, that was how people
I'm an 80s woman and 90s woman. I disagree with you. I don't feel that's ever been lost. I don't feel it's ever been lost. If a man wants to go to a woman and say, I'm interested in you and I'd love to take you out, you think that's stupid?
If somebody did that today, it's different.
Seriously? That's not okay? So you're supposed to go to a website to ask them out? Honestly, I disagree. I think that if you're
I
agree with you on that. I think I agree with you in that sense. But
no, I don't think people...
I'm just trying to talk about what has changed.
Yeah. No, I understand it's changed, but I still think there's a core value there of if you're attracted to somebody and you just say to them, we're all human. We're letting go of the human emotional side of us through all this texting, and personally, I just feel. I feel it's very.
When I was in middle school, which was only
2 years ago,
or 20. I'm 26, so back when I was maybe 12, it was a girl I liked in middle school. I would call her house.
Yeah.
And sometimes her dad or her mom would answer the phone, and I would ask to talk to her. And it's not that long ago. I mean, it was, 10 to 15 years ago. I wouldn't really do that now. Like, for me to get...
part of that is because you're older. So
it's a different...
that. So let's take this a different direction, okay? So you're married and you have a child who's 13 years old. So what would you like? You have a daughter. What would you expect? Or 12 years old. What would make you comfortable? So if the kid is
they would be texting.
Okay, so is that comfortable as a parent for you? So if he
because that's what I grew up with. The same way you grew up with what you probably be comfortable with what you grew up with.
How old were you when you got a phone?
I was in 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
There you go. How old was I?
Oh, I thought you were 7th grade. You're 5th grade.
So
that was me. I was in
high school.
I got a phone because I was walking home.
I was in 5th grade.
And I wasn't allowed to get my phone number out to anyone until high school.
And remember in middle school, like, I used to talk on the phone with people. Like, remember the boys would call us at home? And then, like, when texting was, like, texting didn't, like, come out until I was, like, later in middle school. And
I didn't get texting till senior year of high school.
Yeah. So, like, and then when texting came out, everybody was just texting and nobody called anyone.
You didn't have it.
Because people don't want...
that.
Because when we were talking on the phone, your parents could pick up the other line and listen. I remember you guys would just, like, listen and, like...
But the reason, like, online dating became so popular is because it's the easiest method of communication.
Yeah.
The society's always going to go toward the easiest way.
No, I know.
Definitely.
And I understand that, but you're talking an older age group. And I was trying to go back to when your kids are high school and junior high. So I feel at that age they need to communicate. I feel they need to use their verbal skills.
Then you have to take away
should.
cell phones. You'd have to.
They should,
cell
but-
phones have to be a lesser part of
Yeah.
communication, but it's
And
never going to become.
Kids now are literally getting cell phones when they're in like the 2nd grade.
And
Like
the-
Jenny,
and the
do you see
sad
kids
thing-
at your middle school or at your elementary school with phones? How old are they?
4th and 5th grade.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, that's
Crazy.
pretty
Well,
young.
A lot of the kids, like, I was in the 3rd grade classroom, and they had the They had the smartwatches.
Can you text
Can you
with
talk
those?
on a smart?
Yeah, you can text on. Yeah, my first couple years ago, one of my students got in a fight with somebody and went into the bathroom and called their mom.
Oh
and
my
then the
God.
mom called. But like the kids are supposed to check in their phones at the office for during the school day, and I know like a lot of parents give kids their phones, give kids phones because like they're walking home.
Yeah.
A lot of parents aren't there to pick up their kids after school because a lot of, at least where I teach, they're working 2 jobs and so kids walk home and that's why they give it to them. But like I had some 5th graders come in and start talking to me and they were like, did you know so-and-so was dating and they did what was it called? A music?
Video?
No, music. I mean, I felt officially old. Music prank? A lyric prank?
What is that?
A music prank? Lyric prank? I'm not exactly sure. But it's where you text
You know what that is?
someone the lyrics of a song and all of your responses. Like, did you hear about the person that broke up with their significant other using the Hello song by Adele?
No.
Oh,
No.
yeah, so I guess it's like a thing now.
This
And
is so weird.
so yeah, the 5th grade kids, they were coming in and they started talking to me and they were telling me that so and so and so and so did it, and then they made it a YouTube video. The one kid, he was doing the prank on the girl he was dating. I don't know how you can date.
Wait,
in 5th
that's
grade.
like so sad.
No, it's terrible. Because I know the kid and I always thought he was a nice kid, but now I think he's a not a very nice kid.
He's like pulling a public prank on the girl
yeah.
he's dating.
It's one thing to like to do that and be mean, but
Yeah.
then to publicly do it is just, I think, terrible.
It's like really scary.
And you can tell that it's just the kids in the class that have watched the video because it's like 44 views or something. But it's bad. I don't think kids should have phones at such a young age.
No, I don't either. And that's the problem. It's like because kids grow up like that and then it gets like okay, like I was talking to my friends about this, like college parties now, nobody talks to each other.
Okay, exactly.
Like you go to parties and like if you talk to somebody you don't know, people think you're super weird.
Okay, he just said
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
creepy. And that's
Which
wrong.
is yeah,
That
no,
is
it's
so wrong.
Stupid. It
It
sucks.
is wrong, but you see why it's coming about, though.
No, but it's so wrong because how can you have a relationship with anybody?
Exactly,
If you
no.
cannot talk to them to begin with, and you're doing this online, and then you connect with them, you marry them, or you have a relationship with them. How do you learn to talk with them if you couldn't talk with them beforehand?
Like, I get that's wrong.
No, we're
I'm not
agreeing with
trying to
you.
Disagree with you.
We're
I'm just
just
trying to tell you where is this coming from. Right
Yeah.
back to the story when those 8-year-old kids were just.
So how
on
do we
earphones.
change this? in
How do we get out
society?
of that? Well, I mean, it doesn't, people have to stop doing it as a problem.
Well, no. Number one, I'm going to tell you right now,
Parent.
people need to stop. Parents with their children need to say, you can text a yes or no. Otherwise, we're going to have a conversation. I don't care how old you are, because I have friends who are giving their kids cell phones at 2nd and 3rd grade. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So the bottom line is that's used for yes or no texting. Anything other than that, we need to have a conversation because I see it in my work world that people are losing the ability to communicate.
Yeah.
That verbally communicating is huge.
Well, I just think it's scary, like, because I see it, like, people my age, it's really bad, and like, but for kids who now are in 2nd grade, they're literally growing up their whole lives.
Right. So
That's
by the
even
time they
worse.
get in college.
So what's gonna happen when they're in college?
And what's interesting to me is I grew up in a world where public speaking was really hard, but you had to take those classes in high school, right? And then in college. And it was hard. I mean, I remember just doing things and falling apart because I had to public speak. But it's going to get even worse.
Yeah.
Because I at least talked and public speaking was hard. But they're not talking. They're just texting. And texting is a whole different, written communication is a whole different feeling than verbally having to express yourself.
So I just want to like, okay, wait. So you like feel very strongly that you don't like this whole texting stuff. Like,
I'm okay with texting
in
for
certain situations.
yes or no.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, what about love letters? What if we were able to communicate our emotions through text? Would that be okay?
Yeah, Mom. What about love
That's what they
letters?
used to do in the old days.
Yeah, I mean, texting should be. Yeah, what's happened to me with texting is texting's become the acceptance of day-to-day communication. Text and email to me is, like you said, it's a letter. And if you have anything more than a yes or a no or a you're having a little like 4 or 5 sentences of struggle with somebody, or hey Sally, do you want to meet here? Why don't you just pick up the phone and call? Because that helps you communicate. It teaches you interaction, and we're losing that. I see that with the people that
But I don't
hiring.
get it. If you feel this strongly about it, how are you so like? How can you like support that person doing like the online dating thing? This is why I have such a big problem with online dating.
Well, online dating is different to me than texting.
How is it different?
I've had people text me and I say, I want to talk to you. Just call me. Okay? I've done that to numerous people in my life.
But how is online dating different? Because it's teaching people that they don't have to learn to go up to somebody and talk to them.
I think online dating is a tool to find a little connection, and then most online datings are you have to do verbal communication one-on-one. The lunch thing, you go and you spend an hour. You're still having to go and talk to them. It's totally different to me. Online dating this is a vehicle to make the connection.
Well,
And one-
texting is a vehicle.
But
to-
see,
But no, texting. No, the difference is texting has become a way of life for people, and it shouldn't be a way of life. You should still pick up the phone. You should still talk to people.
online dating is becoming a way of life. People are not like that person you're talking about. They're just depending on online dating and an app.
No, it's different because
Crutch.
Yeah.
but think about that person.
online dating is a crutch. I don't think of that. I think that's a way to touch base and meet somebody, and then.
But if you look at it from the eyes of someone who's like young, who's growing up in this world where it's all about texting and online dating, then their first glimpse of communication with a significant other is through the phone.
Yeah.
It's comfort, right? You start out with a comfort level, and I mean, most people don't put themselves out there. It takes a lot of strength to be able to go up and just like out of thin air and just try to create a conversation. So when you grow up with something so comforting,
But
why would you go out there and do more? Now, that's not the right
But wait,
answer.
is online dating about putting yourself out there, or just saying, "Okay,
It's
I'm
easy,
willing.
though. You can say whatever
I'm
you
willing
want.
to meet with you. I'm willing to go date you."
Yeah, exactly.
That's where that's my tangent. Like
You don't have to take responsibility.
no,
you can do
take
whatever you
no
want.
Accountability to anything. You can text 3 people at once.
Yeah, exactly.
On online dating.
Yeah.
And that's the other problem with our world is that part of instant gratifications is you're going on
Okay,
a
well-
dating website and you'd be like, well, I can like this person because they've got a cute butt, but I like this girl because she's got a nice back. I like this person because they've got a 6-pack. And it's like, well, what thing do I want?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, shoot, maybe I should actually talk to the person and get to know the person.
Okay.
Well, that's really hard over text messaging.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I appreciate that, but what I think we're mixing right now is online dating is totally different from the day-to-day use of text messaging, and
But we're talking
emailing.
about dating.
Yeah, we're talking about dating.
Well, but you were pushing me. I felt you were pushing me a little bit about
I'm
text
just like
messaging.
confused. Do you guys get my
Because-
point? Like, how could it be so against like texting day to day? Like you're saying it needs to be all in person, and then but you're like, but online dating is fine. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm like, that's why I don't like online. I think it's annoying that so many people depend on it.
I don't
Think
know.
about
No,
when you
I
were
don't
going
think
to
they
high
should
school,
depend
though.
on it. But I'm just saying I feel like you're trying to wrap all this into one thing, and I don't think
Well,
that's
'cause it's all
wrapped around.
connected.
We're,
No,
just,
it's
we're
not.
talking about
I
dating
think
first. That was the conversation.
okay, that's dating. But day to day life, day-to-day life, I think people have used text messaging incorrectly. I think you should pick up the phone. I think
there's not enough time in the day
I
to
disagree.
call everybody, and everybody's on such different
You
schedules.
don't have to connect them.
What if I need to talk?
Let me
What if
tell
I
you
need a
something.
piece of information and you're at work and you can't call me back until 7 p.m.
So
and I need that information
you
now.
left me the message, and your job is to say, I need this, and then I'm either gonna text you, I cannot do this, or I'm gonna call you back and say, because I've heard the urgency in your voice. I can't hear that urgency in your voice in a
I
text.
get it. You're talking
But
about like
that's
the
not business.
but like for
Yeah.
example, a conversation like between me and Jake during the day. Like if I'm at work, if I'm in my office and I have a second, and he says Mike, and I'll go, oh Jake, what's up? And he'll say say something to me. But then maybe my boss comes and goes, hey, I need you to actually help me out. You know, I have that message still sitting there, and I can come back at my own convenience and respond to it. If he's calling me on the phone, I can't be like, oh yeah, hold on, let me just put you on the phone. Like it doesn't seem.
No, he's calling you. You just don't answer the phone call, and then you listen to the phone call, and then you call back or you text back to that.
But that's so
where
slow. By the time you talk to that person, it's a day later.
You guys are trying to move life at
I think this is ironic.
That's
Considering
not,
the
it's
speed
not
you live
healthy.
your life at, this is very ironic.
I can give another example.
Yeah.
My inbox at work, I've been there less than 2 years. I have 21,000 emails. 21,000.
I love you.
If I took
I have about
21,000 calls,
800
I
a
would
day.
literally murder someone.
Yeah.
No, but-
And I'd be in jail right now.
But that's
And you're
different.
the same,
But
though,
your
Mom.
But-
emails at work
but
are
you're-
not going to be phone calls. Your phone calls are from people that you're connected with. Your emails at work, don't compare emails to work with text and phone.
Would you
messages.
not get irritated if every time I needed to ask you something I called you? Or what if every time you needed something from me, you called me and I didn't answer? Think about when you call me.
Yeah, I'm very
during the
irritated
day.
that you don't answer.
Yeah, you get so mad when I don't answer, but
No,
guess
but
what?
I'm more irritated that I'm not
Life is-
irritated that you don't answer.
Life
I'm
is-
irritated that you don't
Life is
respond.
different.
What if you're at a
I leave messages all the time.
there's like
Yeah,
a
because
million
you're not
there's a
always-
million things you can say if you're at a Warriors game, right? And somebody and you want to get a hold of your daughter who's watching the game, you can't call. It's too loud in there.
Yeah.
You're gonna walk all the way outside. So now she's not gonna be able to respond to you
No.
for.
But you're
for
taking
3
isolated incidences. And
I'm not
I-
taking.
I-
I'm taking like 99% of life.
Yeah.
No.
I think
And
you're
you guys
taking
create that.
isolated.
But
in-
no, I don't think we created it. I think what happened was college. Personally, I feel like it was created when I went to college because I'd be sitting in class and you can't take a phone call, but I can text message you back,
Yeah.
right?
It's just the
And-
evolution.
And
of it.
that's
Yeah.
my point.
Well, it's technology.
Yeah, it's just
No, it's
changed.
technology is affecting us greatly, but you got to find a balance because the direction we're going with technology is we are setting ourselves up for misinterpretation, miscommunication, and people being. It's not a good situation. So you have to learn to balance that.
It's not a good situation, but I also don't see how it like can't just go away. It just can't.
Well, it's a choice. Everybody has to
I
make
think
a
we need like a
choice.
new subject because we keep on going back and forth. It's not going anywhere.
We have to make a
We
choice.
gotta have a new subject.
You're very quiet.
We're gonna evolve past communication, anyways.
Well, okay. Just really quickly, what's the difference between Bumble and Tinder?
So Bumble.
The spelling.
Yeah.
True. That's the first big difference. Bumble basically, I mean, you're still swiping. The functionality is the same, but when you match,
Yeah.
the girl has she can respond. The guy can't respond, so the girl has to respond first. Which in
the
many
girl has to
situations-
initiate the
Yeah.
conversation within 24 hours of them matching, or it disappears.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, for someone who's never used, they'd be like, "Well, that's kind of weird. Why wouldn't the guy go first?" But when you use Tinder, like I guess as a woman, and you get so many just vulgar messages like constantly at you, it probably becomes frustrating. So they flipped it around where it's like, let the girl pick and choose who she wants to talk to, so she's not getting inundated with messages.
Yeah.
So she can get a billion different matches, but there's nothing like bugging her until she's ready to talk. So I think that's what.
So which one do you like better?
I mean, here's the thing: because Tinder's been around for so long, it just becomes this big messy site. At least when I used it, it's become a big messy.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone from every age group's using it just to talk, and it's just a lot of people just really just screwing around and talking to people and messaging. Where Bumble's, to a degree, it's still free site, so it's not like you're getting these really high quality matches, but
I've heard it's better people on Bumble.
it's better people, yeah, because And the reason you're getting better people is because the fact that it's harder to communicate with someone because the girl has to initiate.
Yeah.
All the sleazebag guys that are out there don't want to spend time finding some girl to actually respond to them first,
Yeah.
So you're going to get better quality with a site where there's more restrictions.
Yeah.
Just like paying sites, you get to pay, so you get better quality people. So I think Bumble just has one more restriction than Tinder, which creates better people.
Don't you think it's I think it's interesting that it's like the problem is that that's all the sleazeball guys who are making that's an interesting.
And that was kind of the problem. Like when I used online dating, is there were so many sleazeball guys that you just get
It fucks it up for people
that
who
you just
aren't
get thrown in that
sleazeballs.
category no matter what. When you match the girl, her first impression of you is just going to be he's going to be like the rest of them.
Yeah.
And how are you going to prove it? I mean, you can send her like a really witty message, but is that really going to convey who you are as a person? Absolutely not. There's truly no way you can convey that how special you are, how unique you are, and through messaging like that. That's why it's really hard to find someone that you can match with, because if your only hope is just saying one thing that's going to catch her eye versus all those other sleazebags guys who can say the same thing because they just read some really witty pickup line somewhere.
Yeah. So then I don't get why people are still using it, I guess.
Because it passes time. I mean, I can't...
But don't you think it's a better use of your time to, not go somewhere where 70% of the people on there, it's not real? Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
It's kind of like finding a job.
Yeah.
You got to apply. You got to get the response.
Yeah.
You got to get the interview.
Yeah.
And then make a lasting impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
tough. There's a lot more writing on a job because you're looking for income to survive, whereas dating,
for a relationship,
what's there to lose? Someone's just going to unmatch you?
Well, you're looking for a relationship for your life, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still not as dire as I need to make money to eat.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
That's terrible, though.
I'm not saying
You're
it's
such a
wonderful.
cynic, though.
There's two sides of life.
Yeah, but he just said that a job is more important than a relationship.
I did not just say that job.
Well, that there's more writing on it.
It's fucked up because I don't think people should be looking for relationships the same way they're looking for jobs. Which Kendon's makes a good point. It is it's like looking for a job. It's like
no, and I agree with that.
I feel like it should be more organic.
It should, but what do you? I guess that's Mom's point of that that adventure thing or whatever. Because at least it's a bunch of people that want to meet people that are going together on an adventure, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But I don't get how you're gonna create those organic moments. You know
People
what I mean?
don't go out as often as they used to.
Or they go out and it's at bars, but
and people are more solo. I mean,
You're-
I talk about this. I'm I'm gonna have a job where I'm not gonna be around anybody. You know what I'm saying? My job, I'm just gonna be going to people's houses and having clients. I'm not gonna be around any other people.
And I work with all women, so
and I don't go out and party. I'm not gonna go so
It's
I'm
hard
how
to
am I gonna
network
meet someone?
socially.
Yeah, so it's we live in a world where it's you kind of have to do it, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It sucks both ways.
You gotta get into a group that's already social, or
I guess then you just have to network.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's I don't know, I always think about this can you imagine on your wedding day I don't know, or your grandma being oh, how'd you meet your boyfriend? You're Tinder, telling your kids how you met, and you're dating.
I feel most people say a bar nowadays, so it's not.
Care to say that honestly.
I don't know.
I have a friend who from college, and her cousin and his spouse met on an online dating website, and then the cousin's brother also met their spouse on an online dating website.
I think it's becoming more acceptable.
I think it's becoming a lot more acceptable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think though the harm, the ones that you pay for, are more acceptable. I mean, I think they're all acceptable, but I feel the ones that you pay for are the ones that you're well, okay, you wanted to meet each other, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I just think it's scary to. You know who that person is?
It's more scary for a girl than a guy. For sure, I think.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
absolutely.
And also, what I was saying before, the people who are my age who are doing it are not doing it seriously.
No, but then they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I know, but they still are.
That's messed up.
And I don't know. I think it's.
Well, that's what made it frustrating for someone like me who did, I actually did use it in the beginning to find someone serious, but all I went through was people who were not serious. So
Yeah.
I hate to come off cynical, but when all you get is that, it can be frustrating.
So what do you think's a better tactic?
I think from experience, it might not be the right answer, but I think a lot of people who I know that are in relationships have just met people through others, and that's for me like would be the most ideal way to meet someone. Networking. Yeah, but if you don't have those tools, it's not like, for example, like Jake met his girlfriend through a work friend. They invited Christina out to a bar, and that's how it started. Yeah, not you. I mean, if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have met Christina.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have met her on a dating site. And if he did meet her on a dating site, what are the odds of it coming about the way it did?
Well, it would have. The relationship would have started off with a different tone.
Yeah, but right off the bat, when she met Jake, she already knew that he knew her friend. So there's somewhat more of a comfort level knowing that he's not just some random like guy just trying to hit up girls, right?
Yeah.
So for even for myself, like, you know, like when we used to go out, me and Jake, we'd go out and have fun, like partying. We try to meet people. Well, he has like a girlfriend now, so I don't typically like have that catalyst to meet that many people anymore because it's just now we're not going out to like meet people. We're just going out to hang out with just each other.
Yeah.
And like if he's out in a bar, I'm not going to go up to a girl by myself and just talk to someone, you know.
Yeah.
So it's different. So like the value of meeting someone through a friend for me is a lot higher because I don't have that option currently. You know.
So then, like, I feel like it's like you could kind of depend on your friends to get you someone.
You could, yeah.
I mean, that's how like my friends and I talk about this. We're like, our only hope is if like one of us has to like get married, and then that person has to have friends.
A lot of people hope for that
because otherwise, I'm not gonna like. I don't know. It goes back to all these creeps on the internet. I don't know. You don't know where anyone's from, or like their background, or. I mean, the stat used to be that 80% of people met their husband or wife like before they were age 17.
Wow. Because times were slower and people knew each other, and it was more of a
and they all have the
community.
same intentions.
Yeah.
They're going to get married and have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now it's totally different. Oh no, it's really. I don't know. This is like depressing. It's like really depressing.
It's fun to think about. Well, if you compare,
maybe fun for you.
it's
Yeah, you're in a relationship.
It's fun to compare like a dating website. How you're saying, how am I going to filter through all these guys or all these girls and who has the same intentions? You could think about it just as the bar. A lot of people go to bars. Some people just go to drink. Some people go to meet other people. Mm-hmm. Some people go to play pool.
Yeah.
Well, who do you know really who to meet? You know, it's kind of the same problem.
Yeah. That's why it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't go to a bar to meet somebody if I was trying to actually meet someone.
And if I were to be the guy to go up to you at the bar and say something, I'd be that guy at the bar.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's all the labels, so there's a lot going against someone.
Do you think that this situation makes more people settle now?
What was the question?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. Well, you can just go online and see more options.
But like, okay, well, I think more people settle. Like, I see my friends. I see my friends. So just like, they'll be with somebody like, well, if I break up with this person, I'm never gonna meet someone else because the way the world is now. So I just need to stay with them.
I think it's the extremes.
Like I have friends who are like that.
They're scared to open up.
I think it's the people that are afraid to settle on it, but I also think it's the people that are like, well, if I break up this person, there's just another person right around the corner. I just go on the dating website.
Yeah, but then you run into the problem of like everyone on dating websites.
Yeah, but some people don't.
Work.
Yeah.
But some people don't take it like that seriously. Like they just go and they're gonna date. Like, you know, oh, this person's cute. Okay, I'll go out on a date with them, and then if they like them, they like them. If they don't, they don't. On to the next person.
Yeah.
Like you're not looking. You're gonna go on a date. So you're not gonna find the forever at the beginning.
Yeah.
Some people do, but it's hard to come by.
Very hard to come by.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That was a lot.
We went full circle on dating.
I don't really think we reached any conclusions, but that was okay.
Just a discussion.
Yeah. Interesting. Mom, you look like you're gonna kill me.
No, I'm just thinking it's kind of interesting. I'm old. You guys are like young. how things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed.
I mean, in my heart
Do
of hearts,
you want to talk into the microphone?
in my heart of hearts, I just feel that.
Yeah, talk regular.
In my heart of hearts, I just feel
God.
that what has happened is, I mean, I've just seen this. I've seen it evolve. We've lost the ability to communicate verbally. We're all dependent on first it was that IM thing or
AIM.
whatever.
AOL.
And then we went to something else, and then it became text, and then email's always been in the background, but I just feel when you write something, you lose the sentiment and the emotion of what's being sent. And a person can write something and feel something, and the person receiving it, the perception is totally not okay. It's totally different. And I've seen that in my own world, in my own life, with
But
work.
we're getting better at it. We have emojis now.
Yeah, you got those Bitmojis.
But
Yeah, all you do, she only communicates in her Bitmojis now.
but people.
Look, she knows she's trying not to smile. She literally
No,
only
I love my
communicates you
emojis,
with
but
her
my problem is
Bitmojis.
there's been so much intensity with people, I can't even find an emoji to go back at you. So it's like,
What do you mean they have the avocado now?
I have to call you. They have an avocado?
Yeah, they just got it.
Is that
Oh.
a mean thing?
Okay, well, so the other thing is people my age, so you have to understand, people that are like 50 and older, we are not on top of this stuff. And you guys you live and breathe this, okay? I have oh God, shut up.
One thing's for sure, Pam has not lost the ability to communicate verbally.
Yeah, you have not lost
Because
it.
I
present in this
truly believe in
conversation.
it, and it really bothers me. And I actually this week, I actually said to some people at work that if you have anything more than two sentences to say to me, and it's not a yes or no, or don't bother texting me, call me. But I can't do that. I go, just call me, and you're going to get my voicemail and leave it on the voicemail, because if I hear you on my voicemail, I understand where you're coming from. My problem is when you text me, I don't feel your emotion.
Should we find
Okay,
another topic?
but I also think I just need to say something. But I also think that I think I understand people's emotions more through text than maybe your generation.
And
Does that make sense?
I disagree with you, because I disagree. I think you're dealing with a lot of different people. You think you are, but I think that
No, I think when I'm talking to other people my age, we understand we can tell.
yeah, but your age,
more.
but you don't understand me.
Yeah,
You misinterpret me all the time.
But I also think that's a generation thing. I think that Mike, Jake. Well, okay, I'll speak for myself. I think I look at it differently than Mom does, and then you also look at it differently than I do. So
Right.
it's just because it's constantly, because it depends on when you grew up with different technology.
and you're only 5 years apart,
Right. And so that's, to me, the scary thing, especially with dating, because when you go to dating,
3 years apart, your interpretation of this texting is different.
Mom, can you finish the sentence?
when you're dating, you're dating someone who's probably in a 3-year age range.
Yeah.
And then, but when you think about it, they grew up with such different technology than probably what you did, depending on where you fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in that in itself is a huge problem
Yeah,
because of
definitely.
how you're going to communicate.
Okay, so let's just close it out. Mom, what would you like to tell my generation? Do you want to give us advice?
Yeah, I think you guys need to talk more. I think you need to. God gave us a voice. Okay, the bottom line is
Yeah, let's leave God out of it.
we were
secular
given the
podcast.
ability to speak from birth, and and I'm not saying technology is bad, but verbal communication is huge. It's very important. It's very important to be able to develop that, and in the working world, you need to have that, because to go out and be successful, you need to be able to communicate. And you get dependent on all this other stuff you guys are doing. And because you do that, you don't learn to communicate. Communication is a learned thing.
Mm-hmm.
And being effective at it is a learned thing. And the more you do the written thing, that's fine for certain things, but it's a business, it's a life thing. When you have your children, from business to children, when your children come into your life, you're not going to text them, Sally, that's wrong. Sally, don't touch the plug. you got to be able to communicate direct. There's a lot of direct communication that needs to be formed, and if you don't practice that, and you get dependent on all this other.
There's voice texting.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Okay. You know
I
what?
get it.
Yeah.
There's nothing trumps, obviously.
It's
Those guys trumps.
Trump got a mention here.
Yeah, nothing trumps the ability, of course,
the basic
of talking
core
to someone
of
face-to-face.
verbally
Makes
communicating. And verbal communication is an emotional and human thing. And people, and you can say whatever you want, but when you verbally communicate, the emotion and the human side of you is felt by the receiver. And that allows the receiver to respond, whether it's a baby, a child, a coworker, your spouse, your lover, a person you hate, whatever. And you can be so mad at somebody or whatever, and you can put stuff into a text, but the other side of it is if you just picked up the phone and said, you know what? You messed with me. I'm not okay with that. Mm-hmm. Here's the deal. But you don't say that in text. You play all these games, right?
I get
it. I love what you did to me yesterday. You thanks for your support. You could say it in a text, but it doesn't have the same emotion as somebody in a voicemail or just verbally saying, you made me feel great yesterday. God, thank God that you're in my court.
No, I think so. I think the best way of communication is through verbal communication, face to face. It's nothing's going to beat that in terms of getting emotions and your feelings,
But we're
communicated.
We're losing it.
But I think it's on our generation to obviously respect, how we communicate and not get carried away with technology in terms of how I communicate. It's riding a fine line. You're right. That's the fine line. And what people are losing respect of, you guys can do whatever you want to do socially, but guess what? There's a working world out there, and then you're going to have children. And you have got to have emotion and verbal communication with children in the working world. You don't sit in the office and
really
text.
hope so. I'm not going to text my child when they're a baby.
Well, guess what? But the less you talk, the less you verbally communicate, you lose that ability to communicate.
I agree.
That's the issue that's going on here. You lose the ability to be emotional. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's on our generation to keep face-to-face communication alive, but also to utilize technology to keep up productivity.
But I think that we're fine with face-to-face communication as long as it's positive.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to send something negative over a text message.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole...
Yep, it's the ease of communication.
Yeah, and I think that's, to me, a bigger problem.
Yeah, people sitting behind their computers.
And that's why people go to online dating to communicate. Because
that's how
they're scared of being rejected. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Rejection. Like, there's many things I've said over, like, text or through a dating site to a girl that I'd have a hard time saying face-to-face. It'd just be a challenge. I could do it, but it's easier to do it the other way. So I think that's why people go to online dating.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, see, I guess that's why. See, podcast is good because they're actually verbally communicating.
That was intense.
Yeah. Verbally communicating instead of writing this all out for everybody to read.
I hope people enjoy this conversation.
Yeah, I'm not sure
if there's a lot of...
That just kind of, okay. Well, I think, does anybody have any closing words? Or I think we pretty much...
Stay in school, kids.
Pretty much
communicate.
Kicked that horse to death. But okay, yeah. So hopefully you like this. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the show. If you have a question you want us to answer or a topic you want us to talk about, go to actuallyadultish.com or email us at actuallyadultish@gmail.com. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at actuallyadultish, where we post embarrassing photos of each other, and it's really fun. And leave a rating and review on iTunes and Stitcher if you haven't already, because it means the world to us. And we will talk to you again next week. Bye.